Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna.
Hare Krishna, I'm sorry. I didn't know. You cannot hear it. Oh, can hear. Oh gosh. I thought I did it wrongly. Okay, now I'm so sorry for that. What happened, Jagadish Mataji? Are you able to hear me now, Jagadish Mataji? Jagadish Mataji, can you hear me? Okay, I think maybe Mataji's audio had a problem. Okay, let me make Kajai Mataji as host first before I forget. Uh, okay, never mind. Tomorrow we will do the chanting together. Okay, Chandra Prabha Mataji, you are on 2 devices. Is that correct? So welcome everybody.
Now should be okay.
Now you're.
Now should be okay.
Oh, okay. You were testing, huh? Okay, I understand. Alright, Hare Krishna Mataji, missed you all. Oh, sorry Kajai Mataji. Esok kita sambung. Okay, so anybody read the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita today? Because we will touch on introduction also. This is at the first few pages of the Bhagavad Gita. So we will every day we will touch a little bit of the introduction, just like how we touched on Gita Mahatmya the last round. Okay, 3 more minutes, so we will wait for a while more. Okay, Shobita Mataji, yeah, arriving or going?
Picking up Uncle Mataji.
Okay. Don't try to type in the chat box, huh? Yeah, actually I mix Excited pun ada, takut pun ada. Because it's getting deeper. Yes. Yeah, thank you for the confidence. Because most of the time I will try not to repeat the same thing. We will just go deeper, or probably I just glance through. So I expect, because when I looked at chapter 1 for the lesson for this level 2, there are still areas that we are still not able to cover. You know, even though we call deeper, but we are still not covering everything. So there are still more areas that we are not able to cover. So maybe you got to catch up on your own. So today will be longer, 1.5 an hour, because there were a lot of demands for longer class, because we always have very short time. Okay, Mataji, I think we can start. Thank you, Prema Mataji. Insha Krishna. Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Gita Gyan, Essence of Bhagavad Gita, Level 2, Deeper Study of Bhagavad Gita. So let us pay obeisance to Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadra. This is today's dressing. Okay. And as Gaura Nitai, we had Lord Nityananda's appearance day. Hare Krishna Tamari Mataji, welcome. Okay, soon we will have Gaura Nitai's Nityananda Prabhu's appearance day. Nityananda Prabhu. Okay, here. This is Lord Nityananda. This is Gaura. This is Nityananda. This is Mahaprabhu. Okay, sometimes you will see Nityananda will be in blue and Krishna Mahaprabhu will be in yellow. So that's how you differentiate. Okay. We have invocation mantra which I forgot to assign. Is there anybody who would like to volunteer? Do we have somebody to volunteer? Anybody? Jagadish Mataji, would you like to sing or recite? Jagadish Mataji, you can hear me?
Yeah, I'm trying to connect to my device. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, I can try.
Okay, Mataji, carry on.
Om Janana Timirandasya Nana Jana Salakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Pachatyate Satarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. So we have submitted our prayers to invoke the mercy of Lord Krishna so that we are able to understand message of Bhagavad Gita. So please bless me too. Okay, we would like to pay our obeisance to His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, founder Acharya of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. Okay, we will go to Gita Mahatmya. Anybody would like to volunteer? I do not have anybody for now. Anybody? Kajai Mataji?
Okay, Mataji. Pushpa Mataji.
Okay, can. Pushpa Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Gita Shastram Idam Punyam Ya Patet Prayata Puman Vishnuho Padam Avapnoti Vaya Shokadi Vajitaha. One who, with a regulated mind, recites with devotion this Bhagavad Gita scripture, which is the bestower of all virtue, it will attain to a holy abode such as Vaikunta, the residence of Lord Vishnu, which is always free from the mundane qualities based on fear and lamentation. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Anybody remembers what does Vaikunta means? Can put in the chat box. It's a place where there is no. It's a place where there is no. Starts with A.
No.
Sorry. Vaikunta, a place free of
Rebirth.
no. I mean, it's not wrong, but that's not the answer that I'm looking for. Kasih clue sikit. It's a place free from A and X. Yes, place free from anxieties, no anxieties. That's the meaning of Vaikunta. We covered this in level 1. That time you all managed to answer, Okay, never mind. We will refresh every now and then. Okay, this part here, 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita, is in the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. So I actually covered some of the information that was meant for level 2 in level 1. So it may not be totally new for all of you. So we have 5 main topics here. Ishvara, okay, Lord Krishna. Jiva, here, us. It's okay, Aparamantiji. Jiva, us, okay, living entities, all right. Ishvara, Jiva, super soul, spirit soul. And we have Prakriti. Anybody remembers what's Prakriti? Yes, Ajita Mataji, no problem. Nature, very good. Yeah, okay, very good. Nature. And we have karma. Okay, actions, work, okay. And Kala, okay. Kala means time, so very straightforward, Malay. Okay, so here Ishvara Krishna who is the speaker of the Bhagavad Gita. He's speaking to Arjuna, who is the Jiva. Prakriti, modes, material nature, the modes of material nature. Kala, time, karma, work. So out of this, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala are eternal. Okay, eternal. The one that is not eternal is karma. Anybody would like to take a guess why karma is not eternal? From the knowledge that you have gained in level 1. Anybody would like to try? Don't worry, salah ke. I'll be happy if it's wrong, then I can tell more. Anybody knows why karma is not eternal? Okay, Shobita Mataji, I hope you're not driving. Okay, keeps changing. Why? Yes. Oh God, you're so pandai already. Yes, yes, all hit the bullseye already. Yes, Tamare Mataji, correct. We can change, we can reduce, we can increase. It's all in our hands. We have the free will. Because need to be reborn to experience the good and bad karma. I mean, that is the impact of having karma. But it is not eternal because you have the free will to change it. Very good. Yes. Karma isn't important. Is it important? Is that what you're saying? Adita Mataji? Yesterday, though, they mentioned karma isn't important. I don't get it. Is it a typo? Yeah, so that is the correct answer. You can change. So, of course, God, you cannot change. Jiva, you cannot change because the soul keep changing the body. Okay, so this one, I don't think you all have issue. But here, I would like to tell there are a lot of misunderstanding about prakriti, material, about this world, this material world. Many people say, oh, it's false, it's illusion. Anybody have that same opinion about this material nature? Anybody still think this material nature is not real, it's false, it's an illusion? Anybody has that opinion at this point? Because I can help to clarify that. Otherwise, I can just explain why it's not correct. Okay, material nature is real, but it is temporary. Okay, it's temporary. It's real. Okay, it's just temporary because it has its manifestation moment and unmanifestation moment. Okay, it will appear and disappear, but it will always be there. Okay, it's just like you can remember this analogy. It's like a cloud. Sometimes there is cloud, sometimes there is no cloud. Okay, what other ways I can explain? But it's confusion when nature is connected to Maya. So not sure how to understand when I say illusion. Okay, illusion means when we think that we are the enjoyer separate from Krishna. Remember in chapter 4, I kept asking, what is the role of the Guru? The role of the Guru is to dispel the darkness. What darkness is the Guru actually trying to remove? The darkness that we are a separate enjoyer. The moment we think that we are separate from Krishna and we want to enjoy on our own, now that is illusion. Yeah, so illusion is that which is not, that is not true. So we are not on our own. We are part and parcel of Krishna. So therefore, when we think that we are an individual on our own, I mean, we got nothing to connect with God, the super soul, the source, then that is illusion. So that is the role of the Guru to dispel this. So that is the knowledge. So that's how we distinguish illusion and temporary. So sometimes people get confused with this temporary and illusion. Like when you hit your hand, I remember I gave this example also. When you hit your hand, you feel pain. You don't say, oh, this pain is not real. We don't say that. The pain is real. So it's not illusion. Okay. What else I can explain on the material nature? Because this pretty reason, somebody said this is not real. I say, yeah, it's real. It's temporary. That's the only difference. Okay. Yeah, karma can be changed. Okay. Can somebody read this? The spirit of Bhagavad Gita. Shobha Mataji, would you like to? Can Chandra Prabha Mataji? Can?
The spirit of Bhagavad Gita, if we want to take a particular medicine, then we have to follow the directions written on the label. We cannot take the medicine according to our own whim or the direction of a friend. It must be taken according to the directions on the label or the directions given by a physician. Similarly, Bhagavad Gita should be taken or accepted as it is directed by the speaker himself.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So oftentimes we are guilty of taking medicine according to our own discretions. Okay, I will take this medicine, for example, antibiotic. Okay, I don't have the symptoms anymore, so let's stop. But the actual guide is that you need to finish the course, right? Or you get a medicine for someone and then you give that to somebody else. Okay, we have doctors in the group, so definitely they wouldn't like it. No, that's not the right way. You take a medicine, you go to the clinic, you take a prescription from the doctor and follow the doctor's prescription. The doctor may not give the same medicine for everybody in the same way to be taken, isn't it? Somebody may have to take just one pill, somebody have to take 2 pills, like that. So this Bhagavad Gita is like that. It's a prescription. So how do we apply here? We cannot take the medicine according to our own whim or the direction. That's my nightmare. Yeah, Mataji. We cannot take the medicine according to our own whim or the direction of a friend. Oh, yeah, I cannot go to Apara Mataji's neighbor and say, oh, no, the friend cannot say, hey, my neighbor is a doctor. You can take this pill. She has given it to me. You can take it, cannot. Apara Mataji will be angry because it's not coming from her. So what is our application here? The Bhagavad Gita should be taken or accepted as it is, directed by the speaker himself. Otherwise, you will have a lot of philosophers using the words but interpret it the way that they would like to. Okay, they put in their own opinion. Okay, the other time, I mean, we don't talk about Bhagavad Gita. I even saw Tirukural people interpreted it wrongly. For example, there was a story about a bird leaving the nest. So in the Tirukural, because that day I sat in my daughter's Tirukural class, so this explanation came and I thought, hey, there's so much a similarity to Bhagavad Gita where the soul leaves the body and take another body. So similarly in Tirukural, it mentioned the bird, it leaves the nest, totally leaves the nest and go. But the person, this person, he interpreted is that we leaving our karma and going. So that means whatever you have done in this life, you got nothing to do with it. But actually the translation itself say it's a difference of it says friendship between soul and body. So it's how temporary is that. So can you imagine, it won't take very long for people to misinterpret Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's words. So you need to take the medicine under the prescription of a qualified doctor. You cannot go to an engineer to study medicine. So like this, we can give a lot of explanation. So that is why you all are here to learn. Okay. This one also, I do not have somebody to read. Slide 7. Anybody would like to read? It's pretty long, but it's important. Gandhi Mataji, can? Gandhi Mataji, are you okay? Mataji, your mic is unmuted, so you can speak. Okana, maybe go out and come back again, Mataji. So in the meantime, Chandra Prabhu Mataji, you want to? Okay. Chandra Prabhu Mataji, you can carry on. You can read.
Understanding of Gita. He tells Arjuna that he is relating this supreme secret to him because Arjuna is his devotee and his friend. The purport of this is that Bhagavad Gita is a treatise which is especially meant for devotee of the Lord. There are 3 classes of transcendentalists, namely the Jnani, the Yogi, and the Bhakta, or the impersonalist, the meditator, and the devotee. Here, the Lord clearly tells Arjuna that he is making him the first receiver of a new parambara, reciproc succession, because the old succession was broken. It was the Lord's wish, therefore, to establish another parambara in the same line of thought that was coming down from the sun god to others, and it was his wish that his teaching be distributed anew by Arjuna. He wanted Arjuna to become the authority in understanding the Bhagavad Gita. So we see that Bhagavad Gita is instructed to Arjuna, especially because Arjuna was a devotee of the Lord, a direct student of Krishna, and his intimate friend. Therefore, Bhagavad Gita is best understood by a person who has qualities similar to Arjuna's.
Right. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, this is a portion taken from the introduction of Bhagavad Gita. Yeah, so there are a few important points here. What happened to my, okay. So here Krishna is, remember, if you remember in chapter 4, we spoke about how the knowledge came down, you know, the 4 sampradayas, and then from the sun god, and comes down millions years ago, and then it broke, and then Krishna is giving Arjuna again. So here, what's the word here? Be distributed anew by Arjuna. Okay, so that means it's re-establishing the link. Sometimes like the Wi-Fi disconnected and then you have to reset in the connected again, or put in like I just want to share, I had this technician coming in to check my Wi-Fi, and he said my distance from my modem is too far, so you need mesh to connect. All right, so this mesh is to connect my main modem and to my PC. So like that, Krishna is linking this. He's attaching, right, what is broken. See how I'm relating. Everything is so relatable to Krishna's and his words. Yeah, so and there are 2 qualifications that Arjuna has. Krishna considered to give this Bhagavad Gita to him. Why? Krishna did not give Bhagavad Gita to Bhishma. Bhishma is somebody who's really, really knowledgeable in the whole Mahabharata. They call it grandsire Bhishma. So why he did not give somebody like that, somebody who is expert in military, somebody who is a topmost Brahmana, or somebody, you know, but he chose Arjuna, who is a Kshatriya, who does a day-to-day job, and he's got family. Remember the Grihastha householder. Why? Because Arjuna is, at this point of time, I want to ask one question. What was that one quality that Arjuna had? He's a dear friend. He's a right cousin. They did not provide the word here, but we did cover this. We covered this, and I also had a Q&A on this, like a pop quiz. That's something that Arjuna did not have. So Krishna gave that. And we also should have that quality. Yes, correct. Not jealous, not envious. Okay, very good. Thank you, Mataji. All right, so we also would like to have qualities similar to Arjuna. We want to be a friend of Krishna, a non-envious friend. Okay, so in the beginning, Prabhupada will mention in the Bhagavad Gita introduction, he will say at this point, a lot of people will come and read. So to move on into the chapters, Prabhupada will say, at least theoretically accept that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because if you do not have the devotion mode, it's very difficult to understand the gist of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, so that is the introduction. Now only we're going to move in. The text says, new parampara, who did Arjuna pass Bhagavad Gita knowledge to? I do not have that exact lineage, Mataji, but let me see. Sometimes they have this. I think in the old Bhagavad Gita, they have the lineage. How the Bhagavad Gita was passed down. The one that I don't have. Let me find that out, Mataji. Okay, I will find that out. Thanks. Okay. So we are entering chapter 1, all the while introduction. Okay. So chapter 1, we have actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 actually. This is 5. But we are not going to cover all. Like I said, we're not going to cover all. We will cover this verse here, verse 1. And then we will cover this one. This is something that we are going to go in, something new for all of you. Sign of victory. Although I touched on this in level 1 because I wasn't so sure what's going to happen at that point of time, whether there'll be level 2 or what. So I touched on that, but we'll talk about that now. And Arjuna reason, I think you all digested already. Okay, remember fingertips already. Okay, so these two we won't be covering. Okay, so we will move on to the first sloka. Very, very easy sloka. Anybody? Actually, Shobha Mataji, Krishna, did he say new parampara? It's not a new parampara. Another parampara. It was, oh, okay. Okay, okay. Let me find that out, Mataji. Thank you. Anybody? Dharma Kshetre? Ajita Mataji? Okay, thank you.
Bhagavad Gita 1.1. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, Mataji. Can.
Okay. Let me start by telling you that I have forgotten the tune.
Dhritarashtra uvacha. I mean, okay. Dharma Kshetre Kurukshetre. Is that okay?
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Okay, Bhagavad Gita 1.1. Dhritarashtra yuvacha dharma kshetra kurukshetra samaveta yuyutsavaha mamaka pandavas chaiva kim akurvata sanjaya. I'll read the translation. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, after my sons and the sons of Pandu assembled in the place of pilgrimage at Kurukshetra, desiring to fight, what did they do? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So we are reminding everybody that here, at this point of time, the Kauravas and Pandavas have already assembled at Kurukshetra. Okay, and anybody remember where is Dhritarashtra at the point of time? Where was Dhritarashtra and who was the guy next to him? In the palace. Okay, the palace is in Hastinapur. All right, Sanjaya. Okay, so why Dhritarashtra is asking about what's happening in the Battle of Kurukshetra to Sanjaya? Why didn't Dhritarashtra go? He's blind. And how can Sanjaya narrate? Because he's also in the palace. How was it possible for him? He's got a vision. How did he get that vision? Who gave that? Yeah, who's Vyasa to Sanjaya? Who's Vyasadeva to Sanjaya? Guru, correct. Okay, so with the mercy of his spiritual master, Sanjaya has received a divine vision. So he can do the live telecast for Dhritarashtra. Okay, so you have gone to, sometimes when you see people come to temple, oh, did you come to temple? Or when you see somebody at the GSA, oh, you came for movie, yeah. Oh, what are you doing here? Of course I came to see movie. What else do you think I came here? Oh, you are in clinic. Why are you here? Of course, because I'm not well. So why would Dhritarashtra ask this question when people have assembled in the battlefield of Kurukshetra? Of course they want to fight, isn't it? Then what is the significance of Dhritarashtra asking this question? After they assembled, deciding to fight, he was fearful. Yes, that is one of it. Yes, correct, Mataji. Yeah, so you are there. You are going to watch a match or you're going to play a match, football match, cricket match. He was a bad man. Okay, I will cover that in the next slide. All right. So when you are in a match, how would you feel? What is the feel? You are in a match. You're going to start already before the match. Anybody can predict what was his feelings for him to ask this question. Very good. That's the right word. Anxious. He was in anxiety. World war is going on, and then he wants to know what is happening there. Okay. Out of all the 700 slokas, this is the only one sloka Dhritarashtra spoke. He asked a question. Yes. So he's asking Sanjaya because he didn't want the two parties to compromise, because he wants that kingdom, because he's a disabled person, he is blind, so therefore he cannot be a king. So he wanted to get the power of being a king through his sons. He wants to make that a reality through his sons. So at that point of time, he doesn't want them to compromise or give up on the fight, because if they don't fight, then they will never know who is the person who's going to get the throne. Okay, and also he wanted to be sure of his son's fate. So we will go and see why he's doubtful about his son's fate. And he also hoped that the Pandavas will give up, because he knows these Pandavas are very virtuous people, and he had a hope that they will give up in order to avoid bloodshed. So these are the few reasons he wanted to know why. I mean, the reason he asked this question, what are they doing? What did they do? Did they give up? Did they compromise? Did they whatever, Okay, so now we see qualities of Dhritarashtra. He is not only physically blind, materially blind, he was also spiritually blind. Why he was spiritually blind? Anybody like to take a guess? If don't know, it's okay. I just, because I can see that you all have been reading also. Anybody can tell why he was spiritually blind? Spiritual knowledge means you can distinguish between right and wrong. Okay. Okay. Not pretty close to being spiritually blind. Fail to understand goodness. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Almost there. So means he can't understand spiritual aspect. He knows Duryodhana is doing wrong things. In Mahabharata, there were places it was mentioned that he says, I know my son is doing wrong, but I can't correct him. I mean, he had a lot of chances to correct his son from small, but he did not. So he was very biased to his sons. Later, I will tell you a little bit of a background story on this Mahabharata, how he was biased towards his sons. And if the scripture says, or the culture says, that if someone can't correct their child, or people who are subordinates, the subjects, he should not or cannot become a guru or father. But he wanted to be a king. When he cannot rectify an error on Duryodhana's side, the children, the son's side, how would he be? Is he fit to be a king in the first place? So therefore, he is spiritually blind. He is not able to correct his children. So what is the next point here? Weak-minded. Weak-minded or biased. Okay, he only inquired about his sons. After my sons, actually he's actually asking about his sons. So he's pretty biased. He actually separated Pandus from the family. Okay, they are from one clan, one family, and he only wants his sons to inherit the kingdom. Now, despondent is another quality. He's anxious. Is also because of this. He pretty much doesn't have hope. Okay, because he knows on the Pandu side, on the opponents, they have Arjuna and Bhima. Okay, the archery expert. What was one word that we described Bhima in level 1? Anybody can remember? There were two qualities of Bhima. Anybody can recall? Bhima Virkodara. Anybody? There are two qualities Bhima has. Mighty eater. Yes. One more. Performer. Ferocious eater. Okay. What was the right word? What was the exact word it was used in the translation? Clue is our childhood cartoon. Start with H. Anybody? Somebody who does big task? Yes, performer of Herculean task. So he is such a warrior. So naturally, Dhritarashtra is worried. And on top of that, what is the biggest fear of Dhritarashtra? He's fearful of Arjuna. He's fearful of Bhima. Another person he's very fearful of. Somebody can tell me? Yes, Krishna himself, of course. And second is he's fearful of the influence of the field is that the venue itself. So this one also we will look. Why Kurukshetra? Why is not in some other forest or some place? Okay, now I would like to take you to this little background. Let me say, I know this is going into Mahabharata a bit, but for the benefit of those who are interested, so let me just go through this. Yeah. Okay, so the Kuru dynasty came from King Bharat. Bharat, okay, sometimes they call India as Bharat, right? Yeah, so there were two sons, Dhritarashtra, the elder one, and Pandu was the second. But Dhritarashtra was born blind, therefore he cannot be a king. Then Pandu can be a king. But what happened? He had young children and he died young. He died early age. And he left 5 children, okay, Yudhishthira, Bhima, Arjuna, Nakula, and Sahadeva. Dhritarashtra, on the other hand, he had Duryodhana and 100 sons. Okay, since the throne technically belongs to Pandu, but he is not there and the children are still young, Dhritarashtra become the acting chairman. Okay, and then he always wanted to be he had this dream of becoming the king through his son. Okay, so what happens? And then they had these 2 great teachers, Drona and Bhishma. So both of them trained Duryodhana's brothers and Pandavas. Okay, however, Duryodhana always very envious of the Pandavas. Okay, because of their virtuous qualities and everything, all the good qualities. Okay, so how he always tried to harm them. He always tried to harm them, but they were carefully protected by Vidura, the uncle, and also Krishna. And as for Krishna, he was son of Vasudeva. Vasudeva's sister is Queen Kunti, and this is the mother of the Pandavas. So that's how Krishna and the Pandavas are cousin brothers. Okay, so Pupu. Huh? So Queen Kunti is Vasudeva's sister. Okay, in Tamil is Attai, right? So that faithful, that was Dushashan, yeah, it's Dushashan. I never can pronounce his name. There's a lot of H there, H and S. So there was this gambling match. Yeah, that's okay, Mataji. Because it's D, right? Both D, that's why. So there was a gambling match, and due to the tricks and, gambling means cheating. There is no truth. Gambling destroys truthfulness. So there are 4 pillars: austerity, cleanliness, truthfulness, and mercy. And there are 4 activities that will respectively destroy these 4 pillars. Austerity is destroyed by intoxication. Meat eating destroys mercy. Illicit sex destroys cleanliness, and gambling destroys truthfulness, because you cannot avoid. People tend to cheat, isn't it? So that's what happened in the great gambling match. Okay, so Pandavas lost the kingdom and they were sent to exile for 13 years. So after they came back, they asked back kingdom, the half of the kingdom from Duryodhana, but he refused. Then they said, can you just give me administration, some administration side of, because that's their job, isn't it? They're Kshatriya, they're on the administration side. So he asked for 5 villages. Also cannot, and Duryodhana said, I won't even give you a land to drive a pin. Like he doesn't want to give them anything. So at this point of time, the war was imminent. You cannot avoid. But still, Krishna, as a peace ambassador, went to speak to Duryodhana, but the Duryodhana did not agree for peace. Okay, so Krishna, as God, he said he cannot take part in the war, and he said, but you can ask either myself to be with you, or my army. So Duryodhana took the Narayani Sena from Krishna, and Arjuna wanted Krishna only. I only want you, Krishna. Remember I said that. So that was the brief background of that. Okay. Any question at this point of time? Oh yeah. Okay, I'm coming to that. I'm going to talk about a little bit on the about the temples. Actually, Kurukshetra was pilgrimage place. It's a large field. Yeah, it was. It was a naturally. Wait, Amataji, I have some information on that. Okay, right now I just covered Dhritarashtra. Okay, so all this we covered already. This is the background of Dhritarashtra because he wants to be a king because he's blind and he wanted to use his sons to achieve that dream. And it's also in Bhagavatam, it is mentioned after the battle, he still wanted to be the king. All right. But Vidura came and there was a lengthy instructions and advices Vidura gave Dhritarashtra. You are old, you need to retire. He will give all this advice. It's a one whole chapter, I think. Okay, so we move on to Kurukshetra, the significance of Kurukshetra. If you see here, Dhritarashtra is one topic by itself. Dharmashetra is one topic by itself. Kurukshetra is one topic by itself. But we are not looking at this now. So we are going to the Kurukshetra. So basically Kurukshetra is a place, it's a holy place. Okay, so usually people do not do any sinful activities in a holy place. Like you don't think anything wrong to do in a temple. So it was a place of worship even for denizens of heaven. So at one point of time, Mother Earth was burdened with lots of fights. Okay, and then Lord Parasuram came and killed Satriyas 21 times. Okay, after doing that, he performed sacrifice at this place. As for the question whether it was barren even before, I'm not very sure. I don't even know whether they had temples there, but I know it was a place of sacrifices. Okay, so maybe we can check that, Mataji. And then apparently after this killing, there were blood flowed like a stream. There were 5 lakes of blood formed on the land of Kurukshetra because he killed so many irreligious kings. Okay, and what else? He killed. That means he performed I think he killed like 21 times he came to kill the Kshatriyas. I mean 21 events. Yeah, it's not like 21 Kshatriyas. Killing all the Kshatriyas in the world 21 times. I'm not sure this can be found in Bhagavatam or Mataji. If I can find the chapter, I will let you know. Okay, and as usual, if you remember this verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya, whenever there is increase in irreligion and decrease in religious practice, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata. Okay, sometimes he himself comes, sometimes he comes as his incarnation. So Lord Parashuram is an incarnation of Krishna. Okay, yeah, so this is another worry for the Dhritarashtra. This kind of things has happened. Maybe during his lifetime, Mataji, he killed 21 times. Okay, so now they are fighting at the same place. Okay, so the Kauravas here, they are fighting in Kurukshetra. They need a big place. They can't fight in a stadium. Okay, so, and also, okay, let me go to the next slide. Here I can tell what the significance of Kurukshetra. This is a little bit of background. So, can somebody read? Anybody? Okay, Mani Meghalaya Mataji, can?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Guru Kshetra, named after the great King Guru. He came to this place with a golden chariot, made a plough out of this chariot, took Yamaraj's buffalo and Lord Shiva's bull, and started ploughing, preparing the land for growing 8 religious virtues: truth, yoga, kindness, purity, charity, forgiveness, austerity, and celibacy. Indra was pleased and gave the following boons. Anyone who died while fighting or performing penance here is admitted to heaven, both battlefield and land of piety.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here we are still looking at the Sejarah of the Kurukshetra, how this name came about. So before this, the place had different names. It was called, Kshetra means field, okay? Kshetra means field, Kuru means the name. It was named after the king. So before that, it was known as the Brahma Kshetra, Bhrigu Kshetra, Aryavarta, Samanta Panchaka. So later on, it became known as Kurukshetra because of the work of King Kuru. So what this King Kuru did? So King Kuru was a prominent ancestor of the Pandavas. He made the land a great center of spiritual culture. So one time, King Kuru went there on a golden chariot and used the chariot's gold to make a plow. So in Vedic days, all the qualities they are they have the personification for it. Like what kind of work he did was he plowed the land. He plowed the land to grow 8 religious virtues: truth, yoga, kindness. Oh yeah, I see. Kindness, purity, charity, forgiveness, austerity, and celibacy. So if you ask me how exactly he grew this, I'm not very sure. Okay, this is just explanation what he did. He did good things. Okay, he did good things. He's very virtuous. He wanted to grow these 8 things. So, what did he use? He used Lord Shiva's bull and Yamaraja's buffalo, and then he started plowing. So Indra came. Lord Indra came and he asked, what are you doing? And then the King Kuru said, I'm growing these 8 religious virtues. So the Indra asked, okay, you can ask for a boon. Then the King Kuru asked that the land ever remain a whole celibacy. Celibacy means, Mataji, one is abstaining from relationship totally. Another way of explaining is that only engaging in sexual activities to produce God-conscious children. Means it's not purely sense gratification, but to produce God-conscious children. So in that way, you don't have unwanted progeny or, abortions, what else, buang bayi, all that. So that is also considered under this. Okay, right. So where did I leave? Yeah. So Lord Indra asked, "What boon do you want?" And then he said, "I want this place to remain as a holy place and named after himself." Okay, Kuru. And second request was that anyone dying here will go to heaven regardless of his sins or virtues. So at this point of time, Indra laughed. Initially, he laughed. What kind of request is this? And but King Kuru continued doing his work. He undaunted. He performed a great penance and continued to plow. Heavenly planet, yes, Mataji. Yes, that's right. Okay. Okay. So gradually, Indra, he was pleased with his determination to plow and to grow these virtues, these good virtues. But the demigods, somehow they express concerns. I think he still cannot allow people who have done sins for a place in heaven. A death without sacrifice did not merit a place in heaven. So finally, Kuru and Lord Indra arrived at a compromise. So Indra would admit into heaven anyone who died there while fighting or performing penance. So either one. Okay, jihad, the real meaning of jihad. Okay, so Kurukshetra became both a battlefield and a land of piety. So Dhritarashtra, what the point for this story is, Dhritarashtra is worried that Kurukshetra will be favorable to Pandavas because they are naturally virtuous. Okay. Mataji, I am not quoting the jihad, but I'm just saying because we very familiar with that word, right? So it has to be for a good cause. good cause, yeah, not what do you call that? Whimsical killing, no whimsical killing. Okay, yeah, so about the current Kurukshetra. Kurukshetra is a city in Haryana. Is it a Punjab land, Haryana? About 100 miles north of New Delhi. So for thousands of years, it was hub around which the Vedic civilization spun in its full glory. So Kurukshetra's religious importance is described in many scriptures, Upanishads, Puranas. Okay, and the atmosphere of Kurukshetra is still charged with the chanting of Vedic hymns, especially the Bhagavad Gita. I'm not sure. I've also heard that the radiation of the nuclear bombs were used is still present there. I'm not sure how true is that, but I have read that. But from here we can see this sources says that the vibration is still there because it's a place of sacrifice and penances. Okay. So that's the background of Kurukshetra, the deeper study on chapter 1, because chapter 1 basically is very light. If you remember your level 1, it's very simple, right? Okay, 1.3. Anybody? Anybody? Matajis? Pashyaitam Panduputranam. It goes like that. Well, also quiet. Should I call? Yashoda Mai Mataji?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Mataji. Can.
Pasyantam Pantuputranam Achaya Mahatim Chamun Yutam Drupata Putena Tawa Sisyanati Mata. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pantu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciples, the son of Drupata.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay, so here, this one we did not do in level 1. So here, Duryodhana is going over to Dronacharya and telling him about the warriors from both sides. Okay, so Duryodhana is he's talking to Dronacharya in, actually the term used, explained here is he's being sarcastic to Dronacharya because Dronacharya has given training to Drishtadyumna and Arjuna who are on the opposite side. Okay, because as a liberal Brahmana, he never discriminate. I should teach this person, I should teach that person. In fact, he has taught more things to Arjuna compared to his own son. His own son's name is Ashwatthama. Okay, for example, that one thing is that he taught Ashwatthama to launch astra. Astra means weapon. But to Arjuna, he taught how to launch and also to retract. So Arjuna, in that sense, he had more advantage because he was dear to Dronacharya. So in this way, we can understand that when the student is very dear to a guru, that the guru impart more knowledge to the person. Actually, that's a long story how Dronacharya is here and why he taught the warriors on the other side. And Duryodhana is telling Dronacharya, oh, look, on the other side, the phalanx, the army is expertly arranged by your disciple. He's trying to be sarcastic. Look, you have taught everything to your disciple, and now the disciple is arranged the opponent's army. So, like that he's saying. So that person is Drishtadyumna. Okay. So from here, we can see Dronacharya's quality that he's a liberal Brahmana. He never discriminates. Okay. And this is the story of the Dronacharya, a liberal Brahmana. How that happened? So originally, Dronacharya and Drupada is father of Draupadi. Okay. They were friends. Drupada was a king in their younger days, and Dronacharya was a poor Brahmana. But they went to the same school, they studied together. So they were very good friends. And one time Drupada promised Dronacharya, you come over one time, I will give you some part of my kingdom. He promised like that. So later, after they got graduated and Dronacharya got into householder life, he didn't have money to buy milk for his son. Okay, Ashwatthama. So he remembered what Drupada told him many years back. He said, "Oh, you can come and seek me. I will give you some wealth." But when he went over, to his disappointment, Drupada refused to even recognize him. He said, "I am your friend. Friendship can only be recognized among equals. Get out of here immediately." So what happened? Dronacharya vowed for revenge. And he was later recruited by the palace to train both the Kuru and Pandava. So that's how he trained both sides, Kauravas and Arjuna. Okay, and then as Dakshina, he asked these warriors, go and bring Drupada to me. You know, his arch nemesis, isn't it? So what happened? Kauravas went, but they got defeated. They came back without Drupada. But when Arjuna went with the Pandavas, they brought the Drupada back. So this is how to show that Arjuna excels better than the Kauravas. Okay, and so after that, when Drupada was defeated, Drupada vowed that I'm going to get a son. I'm going to get a son and raise him specifically to kill you, Dronacharya, like that. So Drupada will perform a sacrifice and he will get a son. That is the son, Drishtadyumna. And then he will send Drishtadyumna to Dronacharya. Please go and learn military science from Dronacharya. Dronacharya know pretty well that this son was born and raised to kill me. And he's coming to me for military science. And he taught him. So that is the best part of it. You know this person's going to kill you with the knowledge that you're going to give. And you cannot hold back. But that's how it was in early days. So he imparted that knowledge. Okay. So that's how virtuous people were. And compared to Drishtadyumna and Ashwatthama, Dronacharya was more affectionate to his favorite disciple Arjuna. So that's a little background here in the chapter 1 about Dronacharya. Like I mentioned, when you are very dear to the Guru by demonstrating certain good qualities, being submissive and everything, the Guru will impart more knowledge to you. That's how. Want a revenge to kind Drupada. Kind Drupada, because Drupada went back on his promise. So the liberal Brahmana here is, he was doing the work of being a teacher. Means, he knows that this person is grown up just to kill me, but I'm going to give him the knowledge. Did this? Yeah. Yes, I think. Is it not? Okay, let me confirm that also. Okay. Because he was raised to do that. Yeah, killed, right? Yeah, otherwise, that's the story. Okay. So that's the story here. Dronacharya's son is Ashwatthama. Drupada's son is Drishtadyumna, taken vow to use Drishtadyumna to kill Dronacharya. However, Dronacharya also Arjuna was very dear to Dronacharya. Okay, so this is the important part here. We didn't cover in level 1. There are 9 signs of victory. Okay, so before this, from verse 3 to 6, in between here and here, Duryodhana will describe the warriors on Pandavas that, okay, we have this person, this person, this person. And then later he will say, okay, on the Kuru side also we have this person. So on Pandavas, the army was led by Bhima, arranged by Drishtadyumna. Remember? That is the person who arranged the army. So that's why Duryodhana was talking about the Pandavas army is arranged by Drishtadyumna, your disciple, like that. And then on the, don't worry, our side also we have very good warriors. It's being led by Bhishma. Okay, so we are skipping all those details. So after this, Duryodhana will go and tell Bhishma, okay, let's give a support to grandfather Bhishma. And then from verse 12 to 15, there will be explanation on various signs of victory. So there will be explanation on what are the features that is very glaring and that indicate. Okay, give me a Okay, sorry. So first was Krishna himself. Okay, of course, wherever there is Krishna, there is victory, and he is there as a charioteer. And wherever there is Krishna, the goddess of fortune also follows. Okay, so opulence is there. And then we have Hanuman on the flag. Hanuman on the flag. So this one, yeah, I touched in the level 1. So why Hanuman? Why Hanuman indicates victory? Anybody? Why Hanuman is deemed as a sign of victory? Hare Krishna. Anyone? How can you relate Hanuman and victory? Hanuman is the strength, strongest. Okay. Well, Bhima is also strong. Okay. Okay. You are almost there, Prema Mataji. So how does that relate? How could you relate that Hanuman on the flag to sign of victory? Okay. Hanumanji is Chiranjeevi. What else? Okay. Okay. Greatest servant. Okay. Lagi. What can you think? Saved Sita? Okay. Loyal. Not yet. Victory. Hanuman, victory. Hanuman, victory. So you can think like that. What has Hanuman got to do victory with victory? No? No more? That's all? How was the Ramayana war? Which side won? Yes, of course. It's Ramayana. Lord Rama's victory. So, where was Hanuman? Which side? Lord Ram's side. So, he assisted Lord Rama in gaining victory. So, that's the indication. Okay. So, Hanuman decorating the chariot's flag was ready to shout his war cries to help Bhima terrify the enemy. Okay. Remember one story I told in level 1? Bhima entered a forest and then he came across a huge trunk and he noticed that it's a huge tail belonged to a huge monkey, an old monkey. And then later on, the monkey will really reveal that he's Hanuman. Oh, if you're so strong, why didn't you just fight and win the Ramayana war? I'm Lord Ram's servant. The Lord Ram didn't tell me to win the war, so I just follow whatever he says. Yeah, wasn't instructed to. Okay, so now you remember. Yes. It's a very nice paragraph. I tried to copy paste and send to you, send in the group. Okay, what else? Where are we now? Okay, Hanuman. Conch shell. Conch shell is symbol of Vishnu. Okay, and another point, I think it's not in the Bhagavad Gita, but it's in a different note that the Lord Indra gave the conch shell to Arjuna, and he also gave the quivers. So I heard that the quiver is never exhausting, right? Okay, and then Kurukshetra, this one we saw already, and then the transcendental conch shell. So there is a difference between normal conch shell and transcendental conch shell. In 1.14, it is mentioned that Krishna's Arjuna conch shell mentioned as Divya. Divya means transcendental. Okay, and so when they blew the conch shell, something happened to the hearts of the Kauravas. Anybody can remember? When they blew the conch shell, what happens? Yes, shattered the hearts of the Kauravas. Shattered, that's the word, shattered. Okay, so it did not happen when Kauravas blew the conch shell though, right? So, okay, that one I will look at it here at number 7. So number 7 here, in 1.12, the first conch shell was blown by Bhishma. But what's the difference between the conch shell blown by Arjuna and Krishna and the conch shell blown by Bhishma? The conch shell blown by Arjuna and Krishna shattered the hearts of Kauravas. But Bhishma's conch shell was to pacify Duryodhana. So that was the difference. So I hope you all remember this. The chariot was given by Agni Deva. Can anybody remember one glaring feature of this chariot? Something about its ability to fight. Anybody can remember? No? Okay, it fights at all directions. Okay, I can't visualize it, but that's how it explains. It conquers all direction. And the horses were given by the chief of the Gandharvas. These are denizens of heavenly planets, Chittarata. So he gave his beautiful white horses. So yeah, the shattering of hearts, okay, is here. So how do we apply our practical application here? Do you all remember? I made a practical application in level 1 on this. Shattering of hearts. Why Bhima's conch shell was meant to pacify Duryodhana, and Arjuna's and Krishna's conch shell was shattering the hearts of the Kauravas. What we should have in Krishna in that sense? All of them are in the battlefield, but there were two different mental states. One was shattered, one has confidence. So we should have confidence in Krishna. This shows that one who takes shelter. Yes, correct, Mataji. So the one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of greatest calamity. Yeah, the battle of Kurukshetra is a calamity. So like that, this field is the Kurukshetra, our body, our life. So every day we have these battles with a lot of things. So we take shelter in our faith and confidence in Krishna, and therefore we have to be fearless. Okay. This is I think Prema Mataji, right? 21 to 22.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, it's mine.
Okay.
Arjuna Uvacha Senayor Ubayor Madhye Ratam Stapaya Mejuta Yavat Eta Niraksheham Yodhukaman Avashtithan Hirmaya Shaha Yodhavyam Ashmin Rana Samudyame. Translation. Arjuna said, O infallible one, please draw my chariot between the two armies so that I may see those present here who desire to fight and with whom I must contend in this great trial of arms.
Thank you, Mataji. I love your tune.
Hare Krishna.
Amazing, Mataji. Nice. Okay, so this one we covered last year, last level. Remember Arjuna said, okay, Krishna, I want to see who's on the other side. Please take me to the middle of the field. And Krishna so pandai, he didn't bring him to people that he hates. He bring to the in front of people that he loved. Okay, so what happens? He brought the chariot just in front of Bhishma and Drona. Okay. And then, so why Arjuna asked to move the chariot amidst the armies? There are a few reasons, just like how Dhritarashtra asked this question, right? So this part we didn't look at in level 1, so we will dive slightly deeper into it. So why Arjuna wanted? Is it just he wants to see? But there's more to it. Arjuna was forced to fight. Okay, that was the situation. He was forced to fight against his wish. He didn't want to. They tried to discuss, table talk, ambassador talk. Nothing happened. Okay, because of obstinacy of Duryodhana. Duryodhana is so stubborn, right? So the war cannot be avoided. And of course, he was also anxious to see who a leading man present with the desire to fight. Who is these people who wants to fight? Okay, and these people who eagerly waiting to please Duryodhana by engaging in the fight, they must be all the birds of the same feather, right? And then to see how much they were bent upon fighting. So these are the reasons why Arjuna wanted Krishna to bring him in front and to see why all this is happening. And then also he wanted to estimate the strength which he had to face. Okay, pretty natural, right? So although confident of victory, because Krishna is already sitting on his side, so I just want to gauge the strength of the opposite party. But at this point, he had no intention to no peacemaking intention at this moment. But what happens? In the verse 26, Arjuna sees his many relatives. When he sees many relatives, he was overwhelmed with compassion. That is in verse 27. And then in verse 28, all the symptoms begin. So how do we summarize this? He's got this grandfather Bhishma and Somadatta, father contemporaries, okay, and teachers like Drona Kripacharya, maternal uncle Salvan, brothers like Duryodhana, cousin, isn't it? Sons like Lakshmana. So I think they should be the nephews, that kind of level. And he has friends, Aswatthama, well-wishers like Kirtavarma. So these are the names, personalities under the Mahabharata. Hare Krishna. How is it, Mataji now? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Okay, thank you, Mataji. Okay. So basically, the army is containing many of his relatives, father figures, cousins, friends. Okay, now we move to symptoms. This one also, I think this is exactly from the level 1 slide. Okay, so y'all can remember, right? The limbs, mouth drying up, whole body is trembling, my hair standing on end. How many all this together? 10. Remember, we used to have this chat box quiz. My skin is burning, I'm unable to stand here any longer, I'm forgetting myself, my mind is reeling, I see only causes of misfortune. Can I ask somebody to read? Tamari Mataji, can you read for us?
Arjuna's symptoms. The limbs of my body is quivering, my mouth is drying up, my whole body is trembling, my hair are standing on end, my Gandiva bow is slipping from my hand, my skin is burning, I am unable to stand here any longer, I'm forgetting myself, my mind is reeling, I see only causes of misfortune.
Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so how do we practically apply this? Okay, why Arjuna find he's in this with these symptoms, identify himself with these symptoms? Because when we have attachment to the body, a bodily condition, it disables us from executing our religious duties, which is ultimately to execute Krishna's will. So what is the cause and effect? Okay, it is brought on by seeing in terms of one's own self-interest. Oh, I'm gonna get sinful reactions, I'm gonna kill them. It all, he's identifying him with that action, he's identifying the action with him. Okay, he's not putting Krishna there. It's not like Krishna is telling him to do. He's thinking that he's forced to do this because he has no other choice to win back the kingdom. And then what is the result of this? This is the effect. So that was the cause. The cause is he's identifying himself in the terms of he's identifying the action in the terms of his own self-interest. So what is the effect? So this is a cause and effect analysis. So that the result of such vision, of such a view, perspective is it ends up one being fearful, loss of composure, indecision, and confusion of moral codes. Okay, so these are the reasons. Later on he will this is where all the reasons will come from. Okay, so I've put in extra slide here just to, this is a bit long line, so if you can see this, you can remember this. Limbs quivering, mouth drying up, whole body trembling, hair standing on end, hands Gandiva bow slipping, skin burning, legs unable to stand any longer, forgetting myself, mind reeling, cause of misfortune. Okay, these are the symptoms. Okay, this one we covered in level 1. This one also we covered already. So before that, can I see the SESD in the chat box? Anybody can remember? There are 5. 4 covered in chapter 1. 1 is covered in chapter 2. Can somebody give me? Okay, compassion. Enjoyment. No enjoyment. C, E, S, fear of sinful reactions. 4th is D. D is destruction. So these are all chapter 1. In chapter 2, there will be 1, indecision. Thank you, Mataji. Because he will say, I'm confused. He will say that. Thank you. So these are the answers. Okay. So basically, okay, compassion, of course, he's got soft heart, And how about no enjoyment? How do you explain this? No enjoyment, even if victorious. You're going to enjoy the kingdom, that opulence, you're going to be the king of the world. So why he says there's no enjoyment? So it is explained that if you get, you pass the exam, you get a promotion, how do you actually share your fun? How do you actually share your celebration? Can somebody share? How do you actually share your joy? What do you do? Example. Partying. Do you party alone? Yes, share with family and friends. Now, if your family and friends are no longer there, who do you enjoy with? And then number two is he's going to win back kingdom from somebody. Okay, and let's say, I mean, not in a encouraging mode, like let's say you have won something, and then it is mentioned that if you won something and then you want to show off to somebody, and if there's nobody to show off, so what is the point of enjoyment? So it was explained in both ways. Okay, so you want to enjoy with friends and family. So what's the point of the victory when you do not have people to enjoy with? Yeah. Okay, fearful of sinful reactions. Okay, yeah, I forgot. We will look at this one by one deeper. Okay. So compassion again, yeah, soft-hearted devotee becomes overwhelmed with compassion and forgets himself when he sees his relatives before him. Okay, so he could say Duryodhana was prepared to kill. So why should I be soft-hearted? Why should I be compassionate? He can think like that, but he did not. He was still compassionate towards him. Okay, so, and then he says that is gaining kingdom, which is after all a temporary gain, worth committing unlimited sin? How many people is going to kill? Is it really worth it? Okay, so Prabhupada explains that this symptom, this compassionate symptom, is because it's not weakness per se, it's because the soft-heartedness resulting from his being a great devotee of the Lord. Okay, next is enjoyment. And then he will think, I will win the battle, but I will suffer greatly. Those I kill will elevate to the sun planet, the heavenly planet. But how about me? I will be lamenting my participation in the battle. I will be suffering of I will be suffering the reactions to this. So those people who perish in the battlefield, they will go to heavenly planets. So he said, I cannot enjoy this intolerable situation. Okay. Fear of sinful reaction again. Okay. He fears sinful reactions for killing his kinsmen, the relatives, family. So what irony, I am empowered by Krishna, I will survive and my enemies will die. So it's ironic. Their death will bring them to heavenly planet, but I will remain on earth and accrue the reactions to unlimited sins. So what good can come from it? I won't even go to the heavenly planets like those whom I kill. So these are the things that run in Arjuna's head when he posted these questions, these concerns, reasons. Okay, destruction of family, there can be many ways. Arjuna further argues that the destruction of the dynasty will lead to unchaste women, unwanted children, and end of spiritual culture. So in which way? Remember we talked about oblations, because a lot of guys, those are the guys, right? The soldiers, they are men. So when the male of the family die, what happens to the woman? So in those days, women were not like now. They are always protected by their father, husband, brothers or grown-up sons. So if they all perish in the battlefield, so who is left? Only the elders are left. So can they actually protect? Do they have the sufficient strength to protect these women? So, and the woman has tendency to be exploited, and there will be unwanted children. Okay, so there will be increase in irreligious activities. So those days, how they protect the women, they are engaged in religious principles, either under father, husband, or son. So if they are not protected, it leads to adultery and varna sankara. Varna sankara means children outside wedlock, so that's how they are, the fear of being exploited in that sense. And then what happens? How the culture is destroyed. The community projects and family welfare acts will stop because no man to lead them. So these are all his concerns. Yeah, okay, so that's that. So we are done with 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 1.45. Anybody can read for me, for us? Anybody? Shanti Mataji, can you? Can I request you? Okay, never mind. I can read. Anybody? No one? Okay. Yadimam apratikaram ashastram shastrapanayah dadarastra hanyus tanme kshema taram bhavet. Better for me if the sons of the Dharastra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. So what happens if Arjuna does not fight? So he is a Kshatriya. If he does not fight, if he doesn't do his duty, he will be bereft of his status in life, and he will be left to beg for his sustenance. So obviously a Kshatriya cannot do. Okay, Kshatriya cannot go begging. So he rather die. Unarmed and unresisting. Okay, so that's why Arjuna says it's better for him to be killed unarmed and unresisting, compared to do the killing and incur unlimited sins, or go to the street, have a beggar life. Okay, so also why he says like that, it's better for me to be killed unarmed and unresisting, because those days the code of war is that if a person who is unarmed or unresisting or unwilling, they won't be attacked. So he rather be killed. Okay. Oh, last slide, last sloka. Can I have somebody to recite, please? Anybody? Saras Mataji? Okay, Shanti Mataji is okay. Canora? Okay. Indra Mataji?
I can read though. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Can Indra Mataji.
Sanjaya uvacha evam uktvarjuna sankhye rato pasta upavisad Virstya sasaram chapam soka samvikna manasha. Sanjaya said, Arjuna, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. So that was the end of the chapter 1 where he gave up, put aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot. So why this was particularly mentioned was in previously there was a story, his argument with the Yudhishthira. So there was an argument that the Yudhishthira will say, you might as well you give up your Gandiva bow, in some argument. And Arjuna will say, no, I will never. So like that, he was a very determined person that he will never put down his Gandiva bow. For a person who has said that kind of statement, and he willingly putting down the bow and arrow because he was overcome by compassion, he was overwhelmed with all these reasons, symptoms, and finally putting it down, it is something really significant because he's not a loser, isn't he? He doesn't give up very fast. So for him to give up this one at this point of time, it is a heavy decision. Okay, so we can only imagine how disturbed such a great soul must have been about the disaster awaiting him and the entire world. He actually vowed he will never put the bow down once it's lifted, but now he's breaking the vow, and that's not for him, because he doesn't want to fight. Yeah, yes, yeah, exactly, Mataji. That's the thing. For him to give up, it's a shock. Yeah, it must have been very heavy for him. So yeah, that's about it. Now next week, remember Arjuna will say, now I'm your disciple, please instruct me, I'm confused. So that's how the slide for the chapter 2 will start. And then, yes, this is the important part, Sankhya Yoga. Anybody remember what is Sankhya Yoga? The whole Bhagavad Gita was 45 minutes, Mataji. But they don't read like us. They talk like how we talk, like that. So it's 45 minutes was possible for them, but not for us. Can somebody tell me what's in chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita? Chapter 2, Bhagavad Gita. Very important. What subject? What topic? Nobody?
Chapter 2 spoke on Sankhya Yoga.
What is it about, Mataji? Yes, it's a analysis between matter and spirit. Sankhya means that. Yes, contents of Gita summarized. It's about body and soul, so that's the basic thing. Okay, recap. Yeah, so when he surrenders himself like this, he becomes fit to receive knowledge. Okay. What was the first topic we covered in the beginning, Mataji? Mataji? 5 topics. Can I know them? Kurukshetra belum lagi. Introduction. 5 topics of Bhagavad Gita. Can I have the 5 topics? Jiva. Ishvara. Kala. Karma. Prakriti. Yes. What is not eternal? Karma. All right. Thank you, Mataji. Is correct. 5 topics. Okay, what did we cover next? Remember the sloka, Dharma Kshetra, Kurukshetra. There were 2 terms that we dived deep into it. Before that, Dhritarashtra. So what about Dhritarashtra? What did we cover about him? Mm-hmm. What is that? Yes, spiritually blind.
His qualities.
Yes, his background, everything. Next, we went to bias, weak-minded. Oh, that's nice. Weak-minded, bias. What else? Something starts from D. Despondent.
Despondent.
Yes, Mataji, Indra Mataji. Did we miss out anything? Okay, he wanted to. Yes. Okay, very good. Next, we went to Kurukshetra. So, what was about Kurukshetra? What did we learn here today? Holy Land. Who is King Kuru? So, what happens? Okay, how many virtues the King Kuru tried to grow? 8. Okay, Indra's boons. So, what was the boon about? Yes, sacred place, not scared place. Who dies there goes to heaven. Land of piety? Yes. Yes, correct. Okay, very good, Mataji. Next. Yeah, they get place in heaven. Belum? Belum sesdi lagi. It's okay. Nahi? No, Arjuna. 9 signs of what, Mataji? Victory. In any random order, anything. I know like conch shell all it overlaps, but you can just tell. Hanuman flag. Okay. Lakshmi, Krishna's present. Okay. Kuru, the venue. All right. Lagi. Conch shell. Yes. Chariot by Agni Deva. Shattering of hearts. Okay. I think pretty much we covered. Right? Okay. Right. That's it, right? Okay. 9 victory. 9 signs of victory. Next, what did we covered? We did not go deep into it because we already covered in level 1. Yes, conch shell, transcendental. So this one we did not go in deep because we covered in level 1. What was it? Belum? Before SSD? Yes. How many? Can just shoot what are the symptoms that you can remember? Yeah, 10. Can just shoot how many? What are the symptoms? Trembling of the body. Okay, mouth drying. Okay, skin burning. Hair standing on end. Gandiva vomiting. Yes, Mataji?
Forgetting.
Sorry, forgetting. Forgetting what, Mataji?
Myself, forgetting myself.
Yes. Can't stand. Anything else?
Misfortune.
What is that, Mataji? Say again.
Causes of misfortune.
Yes. Okay, thank you. One more. Losing something, right? What is that? Losing. One more. I think one more.
Is it my mind is really? Is it?
Yes, that is also. It's not mentioned yet. Yes, thanks. Okay. Is losing composure one of it? Anybody has the list? I need to switch my one, so I don't want to switch. Okay, yeah. So I think pretty much we have covered that. Last topic. So after the symptom, what comes? SSD. Okay, can I have the SSDs? Okay, compassion. Compassion for, let's try to put it in a sentence so it'll be nice. Compassion for relatives and friends. No enjoyment after the victory. Okay. Yeah, that's how I want it. Fear of sinful reactions. Destruction of, yes, destruction of family. Family tradition. Destruction of dynasty, family tradition. What else? CESD. Okay, so these are on chapter 1. The last one is in chapter 2. What was it? Indecision of what? Mataji? Indecision to fight. Right? Yes, so yes, correct, Mataji. So let's try to learn to put them in a phrase so we will know. Compassion for relatives and friends, no enjoyment. If king, even if no enjoyment, even if king, becoming a king, is it? Okay. Okay. So yeah, for the Gita kit is still available. Previously, actually, what happened in level 1, there was somebody who sponsored all the postage fee. So now we are not able to absorb the margin. So we are including the postage fee in the order. So it's 56 now. Bhagavatam is also still available. Yes, that's it. Mataji's, any questions? So I think we have some questions. Somebody asked about the new parampara, right? I don't think it's creating a new parampara. It's more of reinstating it. But let me confirm on that. And then about Lord Parasuram, how he actually went on killing 21 times. And whether Dhristadyumna actually killed Dronacharya. So I think somebody said it's correct, right? But let me also confirm that. I think, yeah, it should be. Any other questions, Mataji? Okay, Manimegale Mataji. Thank you. Yes, yes. A new lineage became from Vyasa. But he documented it, right? He's more documenting it. Thank you, Saras Mataji. Do you all feel it's a bit lengthy? Because it's 1.5 an hour. Is it okay for you all? And if Sunday is okay, is that okay, Sundays? Anybody wants Saturday? Sunday is fine, right? Okay. Sunday is fine. Yeah, just any question and answer, just put in the chat box. If we cannot cover, then like now I will just write it down. Then I will just cover it next time. Okay, Matajis, let's call it a day. The sloka skip is for own reading. How, Mataji? I don't understand. Yeah, those slokas you can read on your own because we still cannot cover everything. Like we are going into the background of stories a little bit, right? So we cannot cover all. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much.